Yeah.
from that right there. What we always do is we call dot formation, or that's what our front called. We always set the 3 technique to the back out of 10 personnel.
Okay.
All right? And with the dot, what we do is we play with a shade off the dot, and what happens is when you're getting that zone action right here, that center's gonna beat that nose is gonna beat up the center, and you're gonna keep that mesh front side.
Yeah.
That makes it better to where this linebacker, if this linebacker's playing, his gap over here, if it comes out the back door, it's a long way for him to go. So we always like that back. We always like to set that 3 technique to the back.
Okay.
That's what we call it dot, so we set it to the back, or tilt is what some people call it from time to time. That's kind of basics
Okay.
of where we start 10 personnel zone scheme. Do they run so they're reading the end?
Yeah.
Okay. When we're defending, that, what we always say is we always want to have 2 on the quarterback. Okay? We're always going to play the end a certain way to have 2 on the quarterback. Y'all play something like that.
Okay.
Quarters.
Yeah. Quarters. Yeah.
Quarters behind it. All right. Well, what we do is when we get a veer release by that tackle, we call that end. We say he's cut to keep. Okay? When he's cut to keep, that means as that guy gets a veer release, I'm going to squeeze and square. I'm going to be here, right here, all the way down the line of scrimmage. We're going to make sure that tackle can't release to the next level.
Okay.
And what that does is when you're squeezing square, it's going to make that guy hand the football off. He's going to play dive, and we don't have a gap exchange. We're going to allow that guy to play fast over the top. So we always have inside half of the quarterback, outside half of the quarterback, without putting this nickel in a run-pass conflict.
Okay.
Okay? So we always cut the keep on that guy. And on this side, okay, what we call a Rick technique. Okay? Call it Rick. When that guy gets zoned to him, he's going to allow himself to fit inside that block.
Okay.
Okay? And what that does is it's basically playing a 2-gap technique, and you're allowing this backer to be fast if he needs to. Okay? So we're not putting this guy, so we actually play this guy a little bit different. We play him outside the box.
Okay.
But with that Rick, he's playing the B gap. He's playing outside the box where he can be in good leverage.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? That's kind of the basic ways we play the zone read. And so we cut the keep with the end.
Cut the
We
keep.
play Rick technique away from the back with the other end. Okay, and we always have 2 in the quarterback in our base way. And when we blitz a zone read, we make we call it opposite. And when we're going against opposite, we bring the blitz away from the back. So we'll just be that right there. Okay, and we'll bring the blitz away from the back. It'll be the first defensive back removed from the box. We'll full slant in the front. We'll bring that backer off the edge. That's like our stable of calls. We play those techniques. We bring opposite, and I'll tell you what, it's been pretty successful for us over the years.
Okay.
What kind of questions do you have? Kind of what I just. Okay. Got enough?
Yeah.
Okay, good to go. All right. Right here, the corner, we always play him, and he's hard cover too. He's a flat defender.
Okay.
We call it 22.
Okay.
Pretty simple. This guy right here is your overhang player here. He's a curl flat player.
Okay.
Okay. He's a curl flat player. He's a hook curl player. Okay. As a curl flat player, we say he's got everything up and in.
Okay.
Because we know these safeties are getting off the hash, and they're getting deep. So we got protection on the outside, but we also have you know, these guys are responsible for everything. So he's carrying the vertical at number 2,
Yeah.
but if he runs a dig, he's also going to be over the top of that.
Okay.
And this guy right here, he's a middle dropper. So we say middle dropper vertical 3. So if we got a 3x1, he ran vertical. He's got that play right there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Keys, always going to play the run first.
Okay.
Safeties, they got a pedal because they're playing the deep half.
Okay.
You know, we got a pedal. We're not going to gain him the run fit. Corner, he'll be in the run fit because he's a flat defender. If, for instance, if you got, we always look at it from an option standpoint because we played so much of it. Say you got speed option this side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'd probably try to run off the overhang player. He's got to be a pitch player.
Okay.
Your middle drop vertical 3 player, this linebacker here, he's got to be a quarterback player. Once again, the end is always cut to keep, so you know we're going to gain him.
Okay. Okay.
And that's kind of our go-to cover 2. We're more of a quarters-based team. We play 22 long situations, you
Okay.
know, long yardage, and we always like to twist the front. We run games with the front when we're playing 22 behind it because, you know, with everybody, we just like to mix it up.
Which is the weakness of this cover?
Any kind of post across the middle,
Okay.
okay? The thing is, if you're getting the way we play it, okay, a lot of times when you see a cover 2, you'll get, first off, they'll go to trips, I believe,
Okay.
okay? And they'll try to see, we have a linebacker running with a fast 3 vertical.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, we play a lot of more cover 3 kind of stuff to that. We have trips checks that we make, or if it's a long yardage situation, we hope that, you know, we won't be. And a lot of times, if you get a corner, or say they run a vertical and a deep out, sometimes it's hard for that corner to play, you know, get deep. We like to call him, you know, cat and mouse with that guy. He's going to bail enough to where he can still play something coming back underneath. But, you know, really anything back to the middle of the field out of doubles, because, you know, your safeties are bailing the hash.
Yeah.
And you're having a linebacker work with that, you know, that number 2 that fast number 2.
Okay.
A lot of times we check something out of it. And
What do you do in that situation?
in this situation, what we call, got a couple different things, but our main thing we run is, we call it mini palms. Okay, our basic quarters, we call it, it's a read quarters. So we're matching up with our zone coverage. But we call it, our quarters coverage is called palms. So when we say mini palms, what we do is we take the corner off, we take the number 1 off the board, and then we play all of our other stuff there.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because to the field, if you got a quarterback and do a vertical number 1, and we can't, you know, cover it up, and it's going to be a long day anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
you look, we went and broke it down. It's probably less than 20% of the time
Yeah, I know.
that you're going to get the guy throwing to the wide side of the field.
Yeah, I know.
So basically, with our nickel, this overhang player right here, he ends up playing that quarter.
Okay.
Then our Will is our adjuster, so he plays that quarter. And we got a safety that plays over the top of both, and then we play a cover 2 concept to the backside.
Okay.
So we play quarter, half, man
Personal.
number 1.
Okay.
That's kind of our go-to. In the way we play our mini palms, they'll run this guy off, and they'll run the bubble out of number 2. It's hard for that flat defender right there because he's got to guard against the vertical number 1, but then you want him to play hard on that. So we check what we call 3 buzz, and our nickel is playing hard over that flat. The Will linebacker has got that guy vertical, and we have a cover 3 guy over the top.
Okay.
So we call that cover 3 buzz without the safety here, and we play outside leverage with that. So he's got everything fast to the flat, third, and we have another safety playing back over here, man out the backside, call it 3 butts.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Cover 3, we don't run cover 3 without blitzing.
Okay. Doesn't matter
Okay.
with
Let me
blitz.
show you, I'll show you kind of our, trying to see how I can. Let's just see. That was really. When we run our zone stuff like this, we're usually out of a 3-down package,
Okay.
but I can make, I can teach the point from here. So say I'm just running, you know, your go-to NCAA blitz. You know, that's kind of what we run out of all of our, you know, we call it strong go. That's our base NCAA blitz. With a wide 2, we make a Harry call. Let's just say for sake of this, he's already out here. Okay, we make him he's a Bronco 2 player. Okay, that's what we call he's playing anything up and out of number 2.
Okay.
Our cover 3 is what we call 3 seam.
3 seam.
Because our wheel right here and our strong safety here, we call them Bronco 2 players.
Okay.
Okay, so they got the seam and out of the number 2. Okay, our right here made a swap call or a Harry call, so our end is a middle drop vertical of 3.
Okay.
Okay, he's a drop off 3 player. Any place number 3 goes, he's kind of dropping over it. You know, just kind of playing in that area. And then of course we play third. So I think that's the only difference in most people. We play with the Bronco 2 players.
Okay.
We always roll from a 2 high shell.
Okay.
We're never a low safety team.
Okay.
If we're playing man free, we're still gonna roll.
Okay.
We always have 2 high safeties.
Okay.
We want to make it look as much like our palms, our quarters coverage as anything.
Okay.
The only time we ever say we have a true double team is if I got 2 hips and 2 hands coming at me. Okay? So I got 2 hips and 2 hands. What we do is we call sumo. We make a sumo call. So I got my key here, and I get a pressure key on my outside. When I feel him come, I'm gonna throw a post in it. I'm gonna split my legs here. I'm gonna drop into sumo, make sure I don't get driven off the ball.
Okay.
Okay, we call that sumo. Once again, my hand placement's here. I feel pressure. I'm gonna pull my leg. I'm gonna drop my hips. I'm gonna make sure that I can't get driven off. If they start driving me because I'm light in the tail, I'm gonna drop to a knee. I'm gonna make sure they can't drive me off the football.
Okay.
We want our backers to roll.
Okay.
So that's the way we play our front.
Okay.
If I get a bump reach, so let's see how I'm playing here.
Okay.
Okay, I know that my man on key is coming towards me, so he's reaching. You're gonna come this way a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna try to play here. He's gonna try to knock my hip over so he can climb. Okay, when I feel that pressure key come from here, so you're coming, bam, I'm gonna try to get hand on.
Okay.
I wanna make sure that guy can't climb as long as I can.
Okay.
I wanna keep my nose play side. I'll keep if I can trade 1 for 1, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay? And the thing is, it's different than a sumo. If I sumoed here, he'd climb.
Yeah.
And I've lost my battle.
Yeah.
When we're teaching our single gap technique, okay, he is gonna be like, since he's a 3 technique side, he's gonna be playing air 6. So that means he's gonna be a little wider. So
Okay.
it's gonna take longer for that block to declare.
Okay.
So what we do is we always want to get hands, like we talk about hand placement as okay. So if I'm a single gap technique like he is right there, I'm gonna say I have 13 hand placement.
30.
So I'm gonna have a hand at the breastplate, hand at the shoulder pad. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna come out of my hips. And I'm gonna try to drive that guy as far as the backfield as I can.
Okay.
And what you can do is if you can get that guy to bow, you're gonna cause that quarterback to bow, which is gonna cause that back to bow, and you're gonna allow your defense to work inside out. And it's gonna take him longer to get to who he's gonna pitch off of, and you can work your leverage, make sure you're playing with good leverage. But we just say, you know, we don't know if that's a reach block for just a quick option instead of a, you know, a stretch play.
Okay.
So we're gonna play that exactly the same way we play the stretch. Is that we have 13 hand placement. We're gonna put a post in it and try to get the ball to turn back inside.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, first, second down, I know it's a run situation. I'm gonna be toe instep. Okay, my feet are a little bit shoulder width, a little wider than shoulder width apart. I'm gonna sit in my hips. I'm gonna drop that hand down. I'm gonna have a slight lean. My shoulder's gonna be slightly above my head. So, or excuse me, my butt's gonna be slightly above my shoulders.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be in a powerful situation to where I can come out of my hips. Okay. Now, if it's a pass situation, same inside hand down. I'm gonna narrow my stance. It's gonna be a track stance. We narrow down, and my butt is gonna be really high, okay, in the air. I'm just gonna look at the nearest point to where I can get off and I can go. I have an A area rusher, a B area rusher, then 2 edge rushers.
Okay.
Okay, so we always establish that on where the protection is set. Okay, so for instance, let's say he's in a G for all. You don't know which way the center's going. Okay.
Okay.
Whichever way the center works, whichever way you're going to get a double team on your pass set, that's going to become the area rusher.
Okay.
So 9 times out of 10, they're going to set on a nose. They're going to double the nose because he's close as a quarterback. So if you get a double here, his job is to work through the A gap.
Okay.
If he's working through the A gap, he does not have a two-way go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. He's always in that A gap.
Okay.
Okay. And what's that saying is the quarterback, you're going to be in the quarterback's vision lane. We're going to have somebody in that vision lane. Since since they're doubling him, this 3 technique, he's got a two-way go.
Okay.
He's gonna a one-on-one block. We hope that he can win that block.
Okay.
Okay. And then these guys, man, they're balls to the wall. They're getting there and they're rushing. You know, we establish, you know, rush. You know, if we say if you got a deep setter, so they've leveraged your hip, we're gonna turn the power, and we're gonna go collapse the pocket. Okay. If they're a shallow setter and we beat your set, we're going to beat you with speed. Okay, and but we always have an A area rusher, B area rusher. These guys are always working tandem. So if for some reason, say they had the back set here, away from the 3 technique, okay, and they wanted to set the protection where the back is responsible for something over here, and they set it away from the G or the 2I, he gets a double. It's that 3 technique's job to see that they're working to him, so he becomes the area rusher, and this nose has a two-way go. Okay. So we're always going to have somebody in that lane.
Okay.
And the 3 technique is responsible for that B area, you know, whichever way it works out.
Okay, coach. Can you show me some stunts from this position?
Yep.
Yeah.
Our main 2, we have 2 main stunts. We have Thunder, Exxon, and TT. Okay. A Thunder stunt means that the tackle is the looper.
Okay.
So our 3 techniques, the looper. So we'll establish vertical threat. He'll pick the hip. He'll become the looper. Okay? That's a Thunder. Exxon means the end is a penetrator, okay, and the G is, or excuse me, the nose is a penetrator, okay, and the end is the looper. Okay. So we'll establish vertical threat. He'll here, he'll work there. Okay, that's Exxon.
Which is the coaching point for that moment?
Okay. What we talk about is whoever the penetrator is, he's always going to occupy the eyes of the man he's on. So if I'm running the Thunder right here, and I got to tackle, what I'm going to do is I got to establish vertical threat. I got to make him think that I'm working vertical, so I can get him moving, and I'm going to establish his eye. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to still penetrate. We're not worrying about his eyes. We're going to make established vertical threat. Okay. It's the looper's job to wait for the penetrator to set it up. Okay. You know, some people, how you talk about how they go 1, 2, cha cha cha, and set it up. We don't do that. Okay. Okay. If he's a penetrator, we gotta wait for him to penetrate before we loop.
Okay.
Okay? Because if one situation, you know, if he just doesn't block me, there's no reason for me to penetrate if I can go and get the quarterback right now.
Of course.
You know, one of those weird situations like that.
Yeah.
But we always wait for him. We always wait for him to penetrate before we loop. And when we loop, we occupy the eyes of our guy. Because, you know, a lot of times, if you start looking out there to where you're going, they're going to say twist, 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 and they're going to go ahead and pass it off. You know, they're going to bump it. So what we do is we're going to work on establishing that vertical threat. We're going to establish the eyes. We're going to look on the guy that we're going against for a split second. Then once we feel that penetrator come, then we become the loop. When we become the loop, we got to make sure that we hug that outside.
Okay.
We want to hug that block. We want to hug that penetration as much as possible. And we're going to just bend and try to, you know, the better athlete you got, the better he's going to be at bending around there. And we establish it the both ways. You know, we just, when we practice it, we just have two guys going and, you know, two guys going against them. And we say, you're the penetrator, you're the looper. We don't say it's a Thunder or it's an Exxon. We just work on games that way. And, you know, Thunder and Exxon together, call that an exit.
Okay.
So if we run those two together.
Yeah.
And TT, that's when our two inside guys become the rushers. We'll just kind of collapse the outside pocket, and we'll run we run an even front, so out of 2-2s a lot of times, but same principle. We'll run a TT stunt. We'll just mix those guys up inside. Okay, drills to skills, the time allotted. Okay, basically we know with whatever deep. Okay, for instance, this week we're getting a lot of zone read. They're getting zone read, and the tackle is climbing. And we know that we're going to have to work on our cut to keep method. So we know one skill that we have to have is playing cut to keep.
Okay.
Okay. So we know what drills do we have to play cut to keep. Well, we have our key drill for the D line. Okay. Time allotted. How many times have they run zone read? You know, this week. Well, they've ran it. Okay, in a run situation, they've had 37 opportunities, and they've run it 18 times. They know they're running the zone read in that situation, so we know that we have to be able to have our end be prepared to play cut to keep.
Okay.
You know, and that's kind of how we do it. You know, and also we always have that's more of our individual, you know. Okay, he's working with D-line, that's what we're going to be doing during D-line. But if we're doing group work, we're going to have our 7-on-7, of course.
Yeah.
And we're going to have inside. Okay. And if, for instance, if you get a lot of zone read, we'd have a zone read period.
Yeah.
You know, where we'd have a quarterback, an O-line, a running back, and we'd have our overhang players.
Yeah.
So whether he was going to pull it or not, we're always working on the leverage, and we have two on the quarterback.
Okay.
But we always, with our group stuff, we always do inside, 7-on-7, and we also do half skill. When we're during fall camp, when we're teaching our coverage,
Okay.
to make sure, you know, it's no different. We only have 5 coaches on defense, just like y'all have, you know, y'all have 4.
4.
You know, so, you know, we don't have, you know, we can't see it all either.
Yeah,
You
I know.
So what we do is we'll have a ball here, and we'll have 2 receivers here, and we'll have our, you know, our nickel, our corner, our safety, and we'll work our palms. We'll work it this side, and then we'll work a different, you know, or work the same on this side.
Okay.
We'll split up in half, so you're getting quality reps.
Okay.
And you're not killing your guys.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's a big thing for us is you got to make sure that you see all those combinations. But if you're doing those combinations and you're running 3-by-1 and you got a corner on the backside who's getting run off every time, he's getting killed and he's not getting any work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so we run that half scale a good bit.
Okay.
So we'll have a half scale where we'll do, okay, we're doing palms on half scale, or we're doing bracket on half scale today, and that'd be a big part of it.
Okay.
That's kind of our, and then you know our full scrimmage situations.
Okay.
Okay. One thing that we take out every time we break down the film, we take out 4-minute and we take out 2-minute. Okay, on the clock. And you realize a lot of the weird things that they do are between 4-minute and 2-minute. So when we're getting ready, it's like, okay, what is their MO? We take out the 4-minute and 2-minute plays, and we look at it, and the other stuff in our breakdowns and our cut-ups, that's what they're going to do. That's their base of their offense.
Okay.
Once again, I said, when we're preparing, we're going to stop the run first.
Okay.
We're always going to play with good leverage. And you know, I think we're always going to have from the run, after we prepare for the run, of course, I mean, and then we attack their protection.
Okay.
We have, like, for instance, that one pattern that I drew up, we use that pattern a lot.
Okay.
But what it is the pattern, it stays the same, but we have different names for it. So, for instance, if we're attacking protection, we know in our menu of plays, we have Florida, we have Bama, we have Texas, we have Ohio, okay? And those are just 4 instances. So we can bring that blitz from the field. We can bring it from the boundary. We can bring it to the tight end, okay, or to the open side. So we look and see where they're most susceptible to our blitz, and that's kind of ways we attack it.
Okay.
We're not one of those people, you know, a lot of times you have those coaches that outsmart themselves trying to make a blitz to attack something every week. Well, we just want to be great at running our blitzes. So what we do is we use the same kind of deal, but we're going to be able to attack that from whichever way, you know what I mean, whichever way we want to.
Okay.
And we also have an inside blitz and we have basically 3 patterns that we run for everything.
Okay.
But stopping the run, playing with good leverage, have one blitz that can attack their protection and shoot, tackle, take the ball away.
Okay.
We work, during the spring, we work probably 30 minutes a day on tackling and taking away.
Okay. Which technique do you use for tackling?
It's a little different. We have, there's 2 situations, there's 2 ways you can tackle in football. You can stand up for me? Okay? If you're the ball carrier and I'm the tackler, okay, this is what we call a shimmy tackle.
Shimmy.
Shimmy. A shimmy tackle. So what it is you can go both ways. Okay? So I'm going to be balanced. I'm not going to recruit as much muscle. I'm going to be here. Okay? I'm going to come out of my hips. I'm going to look through my pinky fingers. I'm going to widen my legs. Okay? And I'm going to tackle that way. Now, if he's running down the sideline, okay, and I'm attacking here.
Yep.
I know that there's not very many ways that he can go. So what we call a profile tackle.
Okay.
That's when you're going to knock the crap out of him.
Okay.
And we say we're going to recruit as many muscles as we can, and we're going to put our head on his hip. Okay? Because the thing is, if I'm attacking his hip, I know there's going to be somebody playing with good leverage. We want to make sure the ball never crosses our face.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So a lot of people talk about crossing the bow. We don't talk about crossing the bow because the thing is, if I do this, what can he do? He can pop out the back door. So we say we're going to work through the near pec to the near hip.
Okay.
That's where we attack it. So shimmy tackle, profile tackle.
Okay.
That's our 2.
Two ways.
We recruit those. I mean, we talk about those. I'm going to use your counter movement against you. Pop. I'm going to show release. Okay. If I'm
in pass rush?
pass rush,
Yeah.
And the swing move?
swim.
Yeah.
Okay. We start with our pass rush from hand block situation first.
Okay.
Okay. So if I got a low hand, okay, so you're a low hand
Yeah.
block on here, I'm going to be here. Okay.
Okay.
So if I'm low hand, I'm going to be high hand.
Okay.
Okay. If you're a high hand with me, I'm going to be high, then I can rip.
Okay.
Okay. Double hand high, here, double hand low.
Abajo?
I'm gonna swing like a baseball bat.
Okay.
I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
That's we talk everything from a hand block situation. And the way to practice that, we call it triple. So I'll be here, so he got a hand on me here. So he's outside of me. So I'm gonna grab the wrist, elbow, reach twist.
Okay.
Okay, then he'll bam, elbow, turn, press.
Okay.
That's so we can just work our combinations.
Okay.
You know how when you have a defensive back, and when you're prepping to open your hips,
Yeah.
to flip, you have a prep step,
Yeah.
so you can get your hips open. Okay. Well, what we call it on the D line is a lead step. Okay, because if I'm going to try to rush right there, and you watch my feet here, it's hard
Yeah.
to turn my hips.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take a lead step, and I open my hip up. So what happens when I open the hip up? I can cut the corner.
Yeah.
So that's what we talk about. So we can be here, pop, then I can work my blocks. I said we went with our 3-down package, but with those 3-down package, we had Florida, Georgia. Well, okay, I'm the signaler. They're hurry up. I can knock that out a lot quicker than I can do over G opposite purple, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we like to cut our signals down a lot.
Okay.
Another thing we've done in the past is have a wristbands
Okay.
to where I can just be two, and you
okay.
can line up.
Perfect.
You know, and sometimes if they're real fast, you're just gonna have to rerun the call.
Yeah.
Flounder. Okay. People, I've never been a part of it, but people that make a flounder call if they're hurrying up and you can't, or you fake an injury, it makes the ball stop, slow
Yeah.
down. You know, I mean, just
A little tricks.
it's tough. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah.
That's the hardest thing in football right now.
Yeah. It's
And,
very
and
tough.
that's why we've kind of tried to adopt that 3-down package a little bit for that situation where we know they're throwing the ball, and we can make negative plays. We can hopefully cover them up on the back end, you know, as good as we can. But that's, I don't know, as soon as I know, I'll let you know. You know, and the thing is, the teams that hurry up do not have overextensive packages. They run a couple run schemes.
Yeah.
They have a 3 or 4 scheme beaters for your pass, your coverage, your main coverage. And the thing is, a lot of times they hurry you up to where they can check and see what you're doing,
Yeah.
and they can get in a better situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of shorten our calls, do the wristbands, and you got to practice it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't practice hurrying up, then you're not going to be good at hurrying up. And luckily now we have an offense that can do hurry up stuff, and we practice against them a lot of times.
Okay, Coach. And another similar question is about the teams that change the calls after.
Freeze.
Yeah. How did you do?
You know, it's kind of the way our coordinator feels about it, you know, that call.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We have run it, or we can have kill, new call. When our coordinator's calling it, it's kind of a feel thing. I don't know really. A lot of times when you see them check, if we're in a blitz and we know we've already shown the blitz, we'll get out of it and drop 8.
Okay.
Or a lot of times if we've shown a blitz and dropped 8 after they froze us, what we'll do is we'll go back and show base, then we'll bring the blitz.
Okay.
You know, it's just kind of a feel thing.
Okay.
That's really what but we definitely have a kill call and we have a run it call.
Okay.
And as soon as that quarterback, you say that quarterback check the sideline, we teach our guys they're checking the sideline right now.
Okay.
And we know that we're either running it or killing it.
Okay. Okay.
The most important leverage is over the top.
Yeah.
Don't get beat over the top. Always have always be technically sound.
Okay.
I think a lot of times, at least us, where I've come from and what we do sometimes, we get bored as coaches.
Okay.
Okay, so what we do is we start drawing it all good in our heads, but we're not able to teach it like we need to.
Okay.
And what happens is we lose our technique because we're trying to establish too many schemes.
Okay.
So I think make sure that we always play with good leverage. Because the thing is, you can have a great athlete, but if you don't put him in a situation in your scheme to have good leverage, he's not going to be able to play to his potential. He can't help that he's not with good leverage. So we always make sure we have inside leverage, outside leverage, and over top leverage.
Okay.
We always work the fundamentals and techniques. So we're always going to work tackling. We're always going to work takeaway. You know, and we just want to make sure that we can play fast. And effort, of course. You know, one thing that our coach does, he calls it two whistle with our effort.
To whistle.
So the first whistle is when contact ends.
Okay.
The second whistle is when effort ends.
Okay.
So if we're running play, say we're running Skelly, okay, we don't tackle in Skelly. Throw the ball, the receiver catches it. We're going to work our profile tackle all down the sideline. Okay. If it was a scrimmage situation, boom. Okay, ball is inside. If you can fit him up, we're going to tackle him, or we're going to, get him between the clubs. First whistle, okay, no more contact. Second whistle, you're going to tag off the running back until the play ends.
Okay.
So you just Coach Fritz says that average football play lasts, I can't remember how many seconds, but he says if you play 2 seconds after the whistle in a deal, then you're going to be able to play for 100% effort during the play.
Okay.
So we always teach 2 seconds after the play is how we teach effort.
Okay.
You know, and man, just a lot of times just we outthink ourselves. You know, we always think we didn't have too many answers. Don't try to come with answers and get away from what you do. Know what you do and be good at what you do.
Yeah.
You know, that's playing like our top call, even palms bracket. If that's playing even palms bracket for 80% of the time, then bringing one pressure, and we know we're going to be good, we know what we're going to do, we know where our weaknesses are, okay, then we're going to be fine.
Okay.
But, and that's another thing, I said it there.
Yeah.
Know where your weaknesses are. You know if you're playing cover 2, you're susceptible to post. If you're playing a lot of cover 2, all right, let's play cover 3 this now. So we got somebody on that post who's going to play that middle third.
Okay.
You know, always know your weaknesses are, and shoot, play hard, man. That's why we've been making our money at Georgia Southern for years. We're going to play harder than you. We're going to be tougher than you, and we're going to try not to screw them up as coaches.